IDA for sleeping with my best friend while my husband was out of town, and now. I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. Honestly, it feels surreal to even type these words, but here I am, raw and full of shame. My heart feels like it's been split in two. One half is drenched in guilt, and the other is begging for some kind of justification. I'm hoping that maybe, just maybe, someone out there can help me make sense of it. Let me start from the beginning. My name is Anna, and I'm 35. I've been married to Ryan for 9 years. Ryan is dependable. That's probably the best word to describe him. He's the kind of guy who remembers to change the oil in the car before you even think to remind him. The guy who always brings home flowers on anniversaries, but not much on random Tuesdays. He's a good man, no doubt, and a wonderful father to our 2 kids, Ellie and Max, who are 7 and 4. Our marriage, though, it's not what it used to be. In the early years, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. We'd stay up late talking about everything and nothing, laughing until our sides hurt. But somewhere along the way, maybe it was after the sleepless nights with the kids, or the monotony of paying bills and managing schedules, we stopped seeing each other. Not physically, but emotionally. Conversations became transactional. Did you grab milk? Ellie has soccer at 5. The washing machine's acting up again. The worst part? I didn't even notice how far we drifted until Matt came back into my life. Matt. He was my best friend in college. If you asked me back then who my soulmate was, I would have said Matt without hesitation. Not in a romantic way, it wasn't like that, but because he got me. He could read me like a book, knew how to make me laugh when I wanted to cry, and always showed up when I needed him. We lost touch after graduation, as people do. He moved across the country for a job, and I stayed in our hometown. But a few months ago, out of the blue, I got a friend request on Facebook. Seeing his name pop up on my screen felt like being hit with a wave of nostalgia. "Hey, stranger," his first message said. "It's been a while." We started catching up, first through messages, then phone calls. He'd moved back to the area after a bad breakup and was working remotely. Talking to him felt like slipping into an old, favorite sweater. Familiar, comforting, and safe. I told myself it was harmless. After all, I was just reconnecting with an old friend. Ryan even met Matt once when he stopped by to drop off some books he thought I'd like. "Seems like a good guy," Ryan said afterward. I nodded, feeling a pang of guilt even though I hadn't done anything wrong. Not yet. It happened on a rainy Friday night. Ryan was out of town for work, and the kids were with my mom for the weekend. I'd been feeling restless all day, like I couldn't sit still. When Matt texted to say he was nearby and asked if I wanted to grab a drink, I didn't hesitate. We met at this little dive bar we used to love in college. It was dimly lit, with old rock posters on the walls and a jukebox in the corner that never worked. As soon as I saw him, I felt this rush of something I couldn't name. We talked for hours, reminiscing about the past, laughing over old stories. At one point, he leaned in and said, "You haven't changed, you know. You're still you." I laughed it off, but inside, something cracked open. Because the truth is, I have changed. I don't even recognize myself most days. I'm a mom, a wife, a professional. But who's Anna? Who's the girl who used to have big dreams and an even bigger laugh? When we left the bar, it was still raining. I offered him a ride home, and when we got to his apartment, he hesitated before getting out. "Do you want to come up for a bit?" he asked, his voice soft. I should have said no. I knew I should have said no. But at that moment, I didn't think about Ryan, or the kids, or the life I'd built. All I could think about was how badly I wanted to feel seen again. So I went upstairs. It wasn't planned, and it wasn't this passionate movie-like moment. It was messy and complicated and full of emotions I couldn't untangle. And when it was over, I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling like the worst person in the world. Matt turned to me and said, "Are you okay?" "No," I whispered. I left shortly after, driving home in silence. The guilt hit me like a freight train as soon as I walked through the door. I took a shower, scrubbing my skin until it was raw, as if I could wash away what I'd done. Since that night, I've been drowning in guilt. I can barely look at Ryan without feeling like I'm suffocating. He doesn't suspect anything. He's been his usual self, kissing me on the forehead before he leaves for work and telling me he loves me before bed. Matt texted a few times, but I haven't responded. I don't know what to say. I've been replaying it all in my head, trying to figure out why I did it. Was it because I felt lonely? Because I wanted to feel like myself again? Or was it just a mistake? Part of me wants to tell Ryan to come clean and face the consequences. He deserves better than this. But another part of me, the selfish part, is terrified of losing him, of breaking our family apart. And then there's Matt. I don't know where we stand now. He was my friend, my confidant, and for one night, something more. But what am I supposed to do with that? I keep asking myself if I'm the worst person in the world for letting this happen. I had a choice, and I made the wrong one. But does that one mistake define me? So Reddit, AITA for sleeping with my friend when I'm married? Or am I just human, flawed, and desperately searching for something I can't even name?